This episode is for you if you know you're capable, you know you're smart, you are a believer, you know that God got your back, but you can't seem to get enough clarity to even have something to really hope for other than more money. Recovering control freak right here. I love y'all. Y'all are the most capable people in your circle, and that's the problem. You're the most capable people in your circle. You need to expand your circle to meet people who are like you. You're so used to being a big fish in a small pond. Sometimes you're going to have to lower your ego and go and be a small fish in a big pond so that you can find other people to partner with. You're not going to be able to scale up by yourself. He scaled that thing to $28 billion under management when he retired in 2021. He sent out 225,000 K1s. That's how many investors they had. He did a whole talk and put us on game about how he scaled it, like laid it out. The best way I can describe it I saw a light bulb go off when he explained his strategy on how he scaled up. The same light bulb when 8 years ago, Aisha Selden sat us down and explained the BRRRR strategy to us. I was like, oh, it's the same exact thing. It's really all about leverage.
Let's go. Yes. Can never play a part, y'all start. Nah. So real, it's all so live. It's better than success from the east to the west. Worldwide.
See, I had a problem. After 14 years in business, I felt completely unsatisfied. And I had a complete lack of clarity in my business, which resulted in me just not having the success that I was normally accustomed to. Now, if you listen to this podcast, you're going to hear a story that you've heard a few times before, but it's going to hit different. Before I tell you the story, I want to give you a little bit of context. Last week, I'm actually in Philadelphia, which is why my background is a little different, a lot different, because I'm in a whole different state, a whole different coast. Last week here in Philadelphia, on January 30th, we had a Better Than Success multifamily meetup. For those of you who know, the Better Than Success Real Estate League is my real estate community that I've been running for almost 10 years. And we closed the doors to new members because we don't need no new members. I'm going to explain why in just a minute. I'm going to give you a little bit more clarity why in just a minute. But we had a meeting for our members about multifamily. And so I flew into Philadelphia and we had a really good time. I did a talk to the people there about top 10 things I learned about multifamily. I've only been doing multifamily for a total of 4 months. I want to say I'm not even really technically doing it yet, but I have almost $1 million in investments for my private equity fund in a matter of 4 months. Okay. In a matter of 4 months. So the talk was what I learned in the 4 months of me doing multifamily. Now, let me be very, very clear. I'm starting a fund. My partners do multifamily. I am a capital raiser, right?
Thank you.
And a fund manager. I worked in finance. For those of you who don't know me, I have experience in that. So I'm leveraging their expertise. I'm like the final of the final in terms of buying decisions. The investor specialists, those are the nerds that's on my team. I don't handle that. So how did I do this in 4 months when prior to that I was very unhappy in my business? Okay. So I talked about the 10 things that I learned in these 4 months that have fast-tracked me to go from like complete unhappiness to today, and like things literally turned around for me. All right. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys the talk. So when I did the talk at the multifamily meetup, my members, they was like, now these are people who listen to the podcast just like you and hear me tell this story over and over again. But I think it was just the perspective that I told the story from that made it just hit completely different. This episode is for you if you know you're capable, you know you're smart, you are a believer, you know that God got your back, but you can't seem to get enough clarity to even have something to really hope for other than more money, right? Like, yeah, we can always hope for more money, but You know you have a purpose, and you know you need to hang your hope somewhere so that you can have somewhere other than money, so that you can exercise your strong faith. And right now you may be lacking it. You don't have clarity. Things are just looking murky. You don't know what to do. This episode is for you because I'm going to tell you the things I learned in multifamily over this past 4 months, but also I'm going to show you how I turned it around. Okay. So y'all know I always got notes. Before I get into it, welcome to episode number 177 of the Better Than Success podcast. I am your host, Nicole Purvy. I'm so happy to be here. So, all right, let's talk about some of these things that I learned. Not some of these things that I learned over the past. I got a lot of notes for y'all, but we're going to breeze right through this. This stuff that I learned. This is how I started off the talk. It was so good, and we had such a good time. It was such a exclusive room. I know, I'm sorry, y'all. I need to get on with it, right? The room was exclusive. Everybody that was in that room, serious about leveling up their lives. Like, I had this phrase that I kept saying, and it turned into a whole thing. Like, no jabronis in the room. I'm sorry, y'all. No jabronis in the room. I think some of the unfun that I've had in my life was a result of me allowing jabronis in the room. And if you don't know what jabroni is, go look it up. Okay. Jabroni is just another way of saying a knucklehead. Okay. It's weird how so many people don't know what jabronis mean. But anyways, no jabronis at the table. Not letting jabronis come at the table, and they be having less than you, and they be trying to bring you down to their low vibrational level. No jabronis at the table. This is why the Better Than Success League, Real Estate League, is now exclusive and the doors are closed. You cannot get in. I got all the people that ain't jabronis in my community so that we can like really go further, faster, higher. Okay. All right. So let's talk about, let's go through these 10 things. First, I had to give some context. Starting at the end of 2023, I was not having fun in business. Y'all know I've already said this. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a timeline. Starting in like November 2023, going into February 2024, I was miserable. I think I hit emotional rock bottom February 2024. And then I started to come up out of it March. And then started making some things happen from March up until November, and then hit another rock bottom emotionally. No, December, sorry, between November, December of last year. So just a few months ago, and literally have just turned it around in 4 months. So that's the context of what I learned about real estate about multifamily investing in the past 4 months. And so you may be saying, how did you? Technically, I'm not even doing it just yet, but let me tell you what I've done in 4 months. One, I now have a private equity real estate fund, and we've raised almost, I don't know, somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million already. And I'm like, I've never done a multifamily deal, which brings me to my first point of what I've learned about multifamily investing. When you want to scale up, if you want to really get to the real money, you have to partner. For all my alpha control freak personalities, recovering control freak right here, I love y'all. Y'all are the most capable people in your circle. And that's the problem. You're the most capable people in your circle. You need to expand your circle to meet people who are like you. You're so used to being a big fish in a small pond. Sometimes you're going to have to lower your ego and go and be a small fish in a big pond so that you can find other people to partner with. You're not going to be able to scale up by yourself. One thing that I learned over these 4 months is that nobody does this alone. When we're talking about multifamily, scaling up, starting a private equity real estate fund, all that stuff, right? So keep in mind, again, I've never done multifamily. Y'all know I do single family. I've never done multifamily, but my expertise is capital raising and the fund management. Y'all know I also used to work in finance. I used to be a bond trader, so I understand the finance aspect of it. My partners, they're investor specialists. They do Multifamily deals, they're the nerds. They know how to run the numbers. Now I'm learning, but it's no need for me to even really know how to do it all that well when I have these partners who I'm very committed to. Okay. A couple weeks ago, we went to, like 2 weeks ago, we went to Vegas. Yeah, it's about 2 weeks ago. 10 days ago, we went to Vegas for this investing event. I told you about this on the podcast. Last episode, I had a speaker on, and so I didn't get a chance to really tell y'all about this event. Oh my God, the event was fire. It was so fire. So the first day was an all-day seminar, one-day conference about fund management, raising private capital, everything, soup to nuts. Everybody in that room, it wasn't just real estate. It was everybody who was starting private equity funds. So you had people starting a private equity fund about the medical industry. You had people starting private equity funds. There was a couple who they invested in franchises, other people's franchises. So like if you got a Subway franchise, you could theoretically sell it to them, an already existing franchise. I mean, people had some of the craziest, brilliant investing strategies where they had funds. And so the whole all day was all about that. Some of the highlights from that event were, one, actually it goes into my 10 things that I talked about. One, one of the leaders, this person's father, John Pennington, you can Google him. This man started with $0 in 2006. He said it took him about 5 years to feel like he really had some money. He scaled that thing to 217 funds, $28 billion under management when he retired in 2021. $28 billion. Just to give you some context, he said, so first of all, let me tell you what a K1 is. K1 is the report that you send to your investors for tax purposes. He sent out 225,000 K1s when he retired. That's how many investors they had. Okay. And one of my biggest takeaways from that event was sometimes success don't start till after 40. Okay. He started when he was 40, didn't have success didn't feel successful till he was 45. Like, okay, I'm balling now. And then from 45 to, 55, he ran it up. Okay. And he did a whole talk and put us on game about how he scaled it, like laid it out. The best way I can describe it I saw a light bulb go off when he explained his strategy on how he scaled up. The same light bulb when 8 years ago, when Aisha Selden sat us down and explained the BRRRR strategy to us. I was like, oh, it's the same exact thing. It's really all about leverage. Okay. But he explained in detail. That was one of the things that I talked about in my lesson. So my first lesson is you can't do this alone. You have to find the right partners. And that was one of the things that he talked about, is like, that's part of his strategy, is like partnering and how to partner. Okay. So you cannot do this alone. Sorry for all you control freaks who think you know everything. You can go but so far. Can't keep doing it. My second lesson of doing multifamily, which I already kind of knew this, but I have to be reminded of this. You have to submerge yourself. If you are looking to go into a different path, or let's say you're like me, where you're like, hey, I am not getting fulfilled from my business or from my career or whatever the case may be. Figure out what you want to do, and by all costs, even if it means taking a pay cut, submerge yourself in it, because that's the only way that, one, you can learn it at a really quick pace, but two, it's all about matching what people say, the vibrational energy. I don't want to y'all know I'm going to give y'all some Bible study in a minute. I don't want to get too off path, but catching a vibe. Matching the vibrational energy of the thing that you are looking to manifesting your business. So by all costs, submerge yourself in what it is that you want to do next, even if it's something completely different. This is partially why I closed the doors to BTS. I am not marketing BTS because it takes up so much of my time. And I need to submerge myself in this fun space. Okay. I had on here the next lesson. All right. We talked a little bit about getting off of Instagram, but I really need to have a bigger conversation with you about getting off of Instagram. Do y'all know I've been off? I deleted Instagram off of my phone. I didn't delete my account. So if you want to follow me, go ahead and follow me. And Nicole Purvy. I don't even post to the Better Than Success page anymore because I realized two things. One, if you're doing organic, unless you're like extremely talented at something that's very visual, if you're not going to pay for ads, it's not a great ROI. In order to like put a dent, you're going to be spending hours every day on social media just to get up like 2 or 3 posts, right? Like all these, you see people when they have these highly produced ads, the people who have the biggest followers, it's highly produced. They take hours to produce a 1-minute reel. No, I'm not doing it. That return on investment is way too low for me. The other thing is your post goes viral, you get followers, but that don't mean that people going to see your stuff. Go to your Instagram page, right? And then I want you to just look at the first 10 posts. First, you're going to see an ad. Then you're going to see maybe somebody, a celebrity. Next, you're going to see something that you don't follow. You might like this. I don't even know who this person is. Then you're going to see another ad. Then you're going to see another celebrity post, or a huge, somebody's got millions and millions of followers. And it's like, their job is not to get your content in front of people. I don't care how good it is. Okay. So it's a terrible return on investment. The other thing I want to say specifically about Instagram over YouTube, I don't want to keep talking about this, but I really want you to remember this. Instagram is not a search engine. I might have told y'all this before, but listen to it again. Pay attention. It's not a search engine. But their job, like any social media platform, is to keep you in the platform. And that's okay. It's really okay. Their job is to keep you in the platform. But if it's not a search engine, so how are they going to do it? The only way they can do it is to give you what they know that you will like. Hey, how do you know what I like if not a search engine? Because I already know who you are. And the only way I can continue to give you who you like is to keep you who you are. Whereas other platforms like YouTube or even TikTok operates kind of like a search engine. I don't know about it right now, but it kind of operates like a search engine. They will give you what you tell it that you like. You can't change your algorithm on Instagram. I think you can like reset it, but then once you can't like change it from day to day. I know I can change my algorithm on YouTube day to day. Okay. On Sunday and Monday, I'm searching for TD Jakes. By Wednesday, it's giving me TD Jakes suggestions. By Thursday, I'm searching for stuff about funds. By next thing is giving me stuff about funds for the next 2 days till I start searching something else. Okay. Let me tell you what I like. Don't tell me what I like so you can keep me the same way. And that could be a good amount of some of the sadness that you're having because your soul wants to grow. Your spirit wants to grow, but your mind isn't growing because Instagram keeps telling you got to stay the same person. And they do all type of mind manipulation. But here's the thing. Let me relate it back to multifamily. When I was at that event, so the first day we had all day, and then of course we're doing dinners and having a good time. And then the next day was an investor event that was unrelated. It was a party with people, only private equity fund managers, large scale real estate investors, and most importantly, family offices and high net worth portfolio managers, ultra high net worth, right? And it was people in there with a lot of money under management. And I had a grand old time. Here's the thing I want you to realize. One of my partners, they said, I wish we would have took more pictures. They meant like pictures together. They didn't later clarify, but I thought they meant, I wish we would have took more pictures and captured more content. I said, I intentionally didn't capture any content. He's like, why not? I was like, read the room. Nobody had their phone out. And so what does that mean to me? That the wealthiest people are not out capturing every moment to feed into this beast that's not giving a good return on investment. So if you're here to like level up, keep enjoying YouTube. I love YouTube. Keep enjoying YouTube and watch my stuff. But the rest of them platforms, don't do it. Don't you do it. The other thing, this is unrelated, I want to say to you is, if you like this, comment down below. Let's start having conversation, because I see that you guys are watching it and y'all are like subscribing to all my products, buying all my stuff. Like, I'm really grateful, but y'all don't be having no conversations, and y'all don't be liking the channel, subscribing to the channel. So give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment. Like, let's talk. I'm in YouTube and the YouTube studio all day, every day. So like, give us a comment. Okay. All right. My next tip that I've learned about doing multifamily investing in these past 4 months is that there's a level where there is less competition, even to a point where people are more collaborative and they're less competitive. One thing I noticed about being in these rooms is that people were so freely sharing with information. Like, I've been in rooms that I've curated where people were freely sharing information, but not like this. People was willing to like giving out strategies, game. Like, I can't really describe the level of which it was like, sure, whatever. I saw it amongst other people. It was awesome. But at this level, it's less competition. So it's like, hey, because it's less competition up here, people don't even think about coming up here. They don't even have the audacity to come up here, right? Like me, I just told y'all 4 months ago, I was depressed. I don't know if depressed is the right word, but let's call it low-grade depression. I was unhappy. And it's like, okay, I'm going to have the audacity to go up here, because if I go down here, like, let's say I'm here, I go here, it's a lot of competition here. That's too much work. If I go up here, and we've gotten soft commitments way easier than I would have if I would have been like, hey, do this flip with me. Do this $400,000 flip with me. Trust me, I know. Okay. All right. Next lesson is, you have to pay to be in the right rooms. Everybody that was in those rooms, like, I'm going to tell you, my team invested $35,000 to be in those rooms. And so did everybody else. And it was worth every penny of it. We got a meeting already with a family office who is, our investment strategy fits their need. I haven't even mined my contacts yet. Don't tell anybody. I've been traveling so much. And I met some really great people. I think I'm going to take, oh, by the way, also too, like, I got a meeting on Friday with other investors, and then I'm going to take like a little trip down to San Diego. It's a lot of people in the group that live in San Diego. I'm going to take a little trip down to San Diego within the next 2 weeks and just pull up on everybody. High net worth portfolio managers. Okay. The next lesson is funds, real estate funds. I mean, not real estate funds, but funds. They make the world go round. Like, most of the assets that you see in the stock market, outside your door, property, real estate, are owned by funds. Funds control the world. You want to control the world? You want to control your life? Control a fund or invest in a fund. I can't market it to y'all right here because I can't. If you know, actually, on this channel, I had our pitch deck up on this channel. I had to take it down because we are not 100% sure which style our fund is going to be, and it all of it has a lot to do with like how you solicit for investors. And we're not 100% sure, and so in order to remain in compliance, I don't want no problems. I had to make it private, the video private. Okay, so if you missed it, sorry. Okay, next lesson, multifamilies are the next wave because home ownership is less affordable. People can't afford homes and they're moving into apartments. I'm driving around Philly right now. It's like so many multifamilies going up. Now, I think that the city is being overdeveloped, but like people want to live in apartment buildings because they don't want to live in it. They can't afford to live in a house. So it's like, hey, why don't I get an apartment building, move into an apartment building where it's community, there's amenities. My son keeps asking me to live in a tower, by the way, which means he must have lived into an apartment building. And I can go on and on and on about why the same way that 5-6 years ago, or not 5-6 years ago, 7, 8, 9 years ago, there was a huge wave for single family. The next wave where people are going to be making a lot of money is multifamily. Okay. Next lesson is raising private money is an art and a skill, and it can be learned. I don't care how unconfident you are, you can raise private money. I don't care how rich or broke you are, you can raise private money. It's a skill that can be learned. I learned so much about it. When we first started this, like I only used to raise institutional money. I never did this on a private money scale where I'm raising private money. Only did institutional, and that was 15 years ago when I worked in finance on Wall Street. Okay. And the last lesson is you don't have to be the best investor to be a general partner. To be a general partner, you don't have to be a best investor. You leverage other people because there are so many jobs within the fund space or the syndication space that you can literally spend 40, 50, 80 hours a week doing and it not be the investor specialist. So like, hey, I don't know how to manage apartment buildings. I don't know. And to be honest with you, I'm not in a rush to learn. I partnered with someone and I'm still a general partner. I partner with someone who knows how to do it and I'm still a general partner. Now, my main job is to invest to raise private capital, right? Again, it's a skill. That's an easier skill to learn than to be an investor specialist and really understand multifamily assets to a point where people are willing to commit millions of dollars to you, right? Learning how to raise private capital is really easy. My job is to sell my nerdiness of my partners who have been studying this for years and already own thousands of units. Okay. That's my job, is to sell them. But my point that I'm making is my job is a more than full-time job. So as I'm thinking about how when I decided that I wanted to come up out of my depression and lack of clarity for my business, as opposed to what most people do is say, hey, I don't have clarity. What can I do from here? What can I do from here to get clarity? And that thinking more often than not is futile because you're moving forward with your past literally just attached to you. And sometimes when your past, when it's not a fun past being attached to you, keeps you from thinking very, very clearly. And you're like, what are you talking about? The opposite of moving forward, saying, what's my next step, is you can say, what do I really want to do if the world was mine? Now, here's the thing. That question is one of the most difficult questions that anyone can ask because most people walk around with so much guilt, shame, and the smell of failure on them, or what they think is failure, or fear. That's really what I want to say. The stench of fear on them that they can't even close their eyes and think about, hey, if the world was mine, what would I want to do? I can get into a whole spiritual conversation about that because this is why Jesus came, to free us from the guilt and shame, because we need to have very clear thoughts and a very clear mindset about what we put in our minds, because from our minds is what we manifest. So if you've got blockers in your mind like guilt, shame, fear, even I don't care how slight it is, you can't have clear thoughts about the future. And so he came to take away the guilt, shame, and fear so that you can have clear thoughts about the future so you can then manifest from the kingdom pure, clear thoughts that align with God's. You can manifest from the kingdom here on earth. That's another conversation for another day. Somebody got it and was like, okay, cool. This is why Jesus came here. And this is why you need to cast all your cares on him. And this is why he died for your sins. Okay, cool. So what I'm saying is the alternative from moving forward is to get your conscience clear. Easier said than done, I know. And that can take some months, which is what happened to me. Get your conscience clear. What does an ideal world look like for you? And then back your way into that. Once you can get clear on that, without having guilt or shame about from the things that happened to you in your past, the things that you did, the things that people did to you, the failures that have happened, the irrational fears that you have, you create a scenario that could be completely different. But then you can start to pull yourself forward to that. 4 months ago, having a private equity fund with two of the smartest people I know was not an option. 4 months ago, having a website with a very clean back office to service my members and having more income that I had, it didn't seem possible. But guess what? I dreamt it. I worked on my conscience. I worked on really truly believing that Jesus can take my sins, right? Because even sometimes as Christians, we don't fully believe. And I don't want to say that's okay. It's not. The goal is to move to pure conviction, not even just belief, pure conviction. That's the goal. But it's very common that it needs to be worked on sometimes. And just allowing these pure thoughts about what you're trying to manifest to propel you forward from where you are, as opposed to trying to inch your way forward. I know it made sense, but if it didn't make sense to you, go back and listen to it again. I promise you it'll clear your mind. And 4 months ago, I didn't have any of this, but I already know how this rolls. I've been here, done this before. And I just did it again. I want to tell y'all something too, right? So I sent out my God Goals to Money newsletter yesterday. Hold on. I sent it out today. I didn't send it out yesterday. Before I go back, I want to finish up my thought there. My thought that I was sharing was I gave all of these tips, 9 or 10 tips or the 10 things that I learned about multifamily investing. And when I shared how serious this is and how much money can be made, everybody in the room was like, I understand why you close the doors to BTS now. Because also too, I cannot continue to have the conversation about, hey, beginner investor stuff. I need to curate a room for myself and my partners that is like-minded people in our community. And I'm not saying that if you're a newbie investor, you can't be like-minded. Yes, but I put in that work for 10 years to bring you on. And I can't continue to do it. I have to level up myself. We're in these communities and these other places for sure, right? But we don't see them that often. I see my members every week. I need to make sure that this is a community that's vibrating on the same level. If you are a new investor and you're like, dang, I wish I'm mad I didn't get in. That's okay. I got you covered. I created something called the Real Estate Retirement Department. It is 47 real estate trainings, 2 hours. The shortest ones are 30 minutes, but they're all 2 hours. You can literally sustain yourself for a year and learn how to invest in real estate from all of these trainings. It's self-paced. I've been working on this for years. You can get access to it at the link below. It's called the Real Estate Retirement Department. I don't have to take myself away. So once you go through that, start investing in real estate. Then at one of the times when we open up the doors to BTS, if you're like, hey, I want to continue to level up with Nicole and get in this super exclusive community where we're scaling up, you can join then. But right now, go down below and sign up for the real estate retirement department. It's for the beginners. It is 47 self-paced trainings. Okay. All right. So I don't remember the story I was going to tell y'all before, but I got another story. So I did my newsletter today. I sent out a newsletter every Monday, and it is game on game on game. This podcast is part of why I do the newsletter. Like, it's so much information in the newsletter. I don't care if anybody doesn't sign up for anything that I'm selling, or I don't care if people don't read it. Doesn't matter. I'm really preparing my notes for the podcast. So it doesn't matter. But the benefit is y'all be reading it. And when I tell you that I am so grateful that y'all are reading it, and just off of the newsletter alone, y'all are signing up for my products. I'm so grateful. But let me tell you this story that I told. So last year, y'all know I was sad. Money wasn't coming in. My ultimate rock bottom was the day before Christmas Eve, or Christmas Eve, depending on how you're looking at it with the clock, when my website got hacked. And that was like my real rock bottom. But I'm just giving you that date as an anchor date. Let's go back to summertime. I decided to do this outline because I'm like, yo, all this stuff I'm working on. I remember I was telling you I was trying a whole bunch of different things. All this stuff I'm working on is not working the way that I need it to work. Nicole, okay, treat yourself like you're a client, because I am really good at, actually, my partner told me, when we first met, he had a business consultation with me 10 years ago. He told me that I gave him advice for some other business that he did really, really well in. I gave him advice 10 years ago, and I gave him 2 pieces of advice, and he ended up doing a hybrid, okay, of the 2 things. And must have been good advice, because now we are partners in a real estate fund. Crazy, right? That's how we originally met. He came and got some business consultation advice from me. So I am really good at that type of stuff. I'm a really good strategist. I told you guys this before. So I was like, treat myself like a client. So I was like, okay, make yourself an outline of everything that you need to know in order to do this. I ended up making this outline, and half of the things were spiritual things. And so I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to do it. But in the meantime, this outline is great. I'm going to record this for other people. So that's how the God Goals and Money Income Accelerator was born. For those of you who don't know, it is a 47 module. It's also 47. What does 47 mean? I think it's like 47 or 48 trainings. Same as the real estate retirement department. 47 module program designed to get you clarity in your business so that you can automate your income. Okay. So I did it, recorded it, released it in October. Put it out, crickets. I sold a couple, not a lot, not no huge numbers that I normally do. Okay. And then a little while later, the website crashed. Now, God is so good that he literally had me, because y'all are on my email list. Some of y'all are on my email list, so y'all know I'm telling the truth, because y'all seeing all of this. I had to use the principles in the accelerator. I used my own notes to revive my business in 30 days to go from $0 in recurring income to $15,000 in recurring income in 30 days. So when I do a webinar that says how to get clarity in your business and give you residual and automate your income. Now my income is automated. I built it up for 30 days. I closed the doors. Guess what's happening on my accounts today? I got income coming in. I don't have to do anything. I close the doors to BTS. Now I'm selling that income, the God Goals and Money, and getting investors. So like I can work on getting investors. I can work on those 2 businesses, God Goals and Money Income Accelerator, and that while I still have money coming in to, right now it's like 15 grand. That's going to pay tuition and food and all of the software that make it work. Like, I don't know. And, some other bills, but my car note. Oh, I'm sorry. And staff. So that's cool because that overhead is covered. And then now I got to eat what I kill and sell the God Goals and Money Income Accelerator, which is cool for me, but I did it. I used the principles. I didn't use anything else. Everything is in the thing. I put myself through my own program. Now, keep in mind, right? I want y'all to think that I want y'all to know that this is a different type of program. This is not just, hey, here are the technical stuff. I'm teaching you spiritual principles of how to drastically change your reality. Now, I want to give you some warnings. If you plan to drastically change your reality like I did, there are scriptures that support this. If you're like, hey, I don't like my reality, I need to get over there. You have to be fully prepared that unless you want to inch your way forward like a normal person, if you want to break your reality and get a new reality, things are going to break. They have to. So I started doing all this stuff, September, October, November. Guess what happened in December? My website got hacked. So it broke. I was depressed for 3 days, but I had my website back up in 3 days. Income coming back in, and it was more than what it was before. Like, I'm telling y'all that residual income number. I'm not talking about other products we sold as a result of fixing our stuff. And so this is why the scripture that says all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord, who are called according to his purpose. Because when you are called according to his purpose and you love the Lord, even when the bad stuff happens, it's breaking your reality so we can rebuild another one. But it can do it very fast. 30 days. Not even 30 days. Because like if I think about, like I remember I went out with my homegirl in LA. We went to this jazz bar. And this was like 3 weeks ago. So a week after my website got hacked, maybe like 10 days after my website got hacked, a week and a half after my website got hacked, I'm standing in this jazz bar with her, looking at my Stripe account, dancing, excited, like, damn, I cannot believe less than 2 weeks ago, I wanted to pull my hair out. I wanted to pull my hair out. But I'm telling you, that's how it works. And so you got to be okay with it. If you want to inch forward, you can do that. That doesn't bother me, but you got to be brave. Okay. So what I want you to do is, you need to sign up for this income accelerator. I keep saying I'm going to raise the price. I haven't done it yet. I've been traveling and raising private capital. Sorry. So you need to sign up for this. It's 47 trainings, and they're not only spiritual. It's not only spiritual. It's also like an accelerator for business, the money portion. Like I take you through the whole entire process of getting, after you clear these spiritual pathways, I take you through the business, because 80% of it, anything that you do, is mental. The other 20% is the physical. So like, I'm going to take you through the mental, and then the other 20% is physical. And that's easy. It's easier when you do the mental part. I have more things to say about this, but I'm not going to bore you about this because I talk about it in the accelerator. Go down below, sign up for it before I more than double this price. I promise you I'm going to double this price. Okay. All right. The next thing I want to talk about is, I got so many notes over here, and then we're going to head out of here because I don't know if y'all know, but I fast every Monday for spiritual and health reasons. And it's time for me to break fast. It's been time for me to break fast, but I've been going a little further. We're going to finish this off with, this is what I wrote about this Bible verse that's blessed me. I've been studying this for weeks now. I can't go into the reason why I've been studying. It's a very personal reason, but God called me to really look at this place in the scripture called Luz. Jacob renamed it Bethel. Okay, so I'm going to read everything I wrote, and I want you to comment in the chat what was revealed to me in the scripture, what you're thinking, what your thoughts are. Lately, I've been studying the history of Bethel, formerly Luz, and how it went through so many transformations, from being a sacred place of divine encounter to a place of worship, then a center of idolatry, and ultimately a battleground for war. So it's a sacred place, then idolatry, then war, okay? It's fascinating how a place that once represented God's presence can later become a place of destruction. But here's a lesson in that. We should never put our faith in a place, a system, or a method, only in God. Bethel started as a place where Jacob encountered God in a dream. He saw a ladder reaching to heaven and named the place House of God Bethel, vowing to dedicate himself to the Lord. So it was originally called Luz. And then after he saw Jacob's ladder, the angels ascending and descending, he said, this place is now going to be called House of God. I'm calling it Bethel. Okay. Bethel. Vowing to dedicate himself to the Lord. Later, during the time of Judges and Kings, Bethel became a major place of worship, but then it became a center of idolatry when King Jeroboam set up a golden calf there, leading the people into false worship. By the time of the prophets, God declared judgment on Bethel because it had become a place of rebellion. So here's the danger of worshiping the method instead of the source. And so I was having this conversation with somebody as I was looking at this. I'm like, this is my interpretation. The Bible does not say this. I need to be very clear because I like to clarify my interpretation. You can take it how you want to take it. I think that when Jacob renamed Luz Bethel, he wasn't doing a good thing because he encountered God and associated it with a place. And it's not a physical place because this is the shadow that Jesus is saying, hey, the kingdom. Years, thousands of years later, and the disciples is like, this new kingdom that we setting up, and he's like, it's not that type of kingdom, it's this type of kingdom. And so Jacob thinks, hey, I encounter God because of the physical place that I'm in, and so I'm going to rename this place, putting this place on a pedestal, but it's a mental place that he was in, state of mind that he was in when he saw these angels, a state of mind. It probably, this also not in the Bible, I need to be very clear. You know, us as humans, we only see 0.0013% of the light spectrum. He probably elevated his consciousness that he could see more of the light spectrum, something like that. I don't know. I like to make up those types of things, right? He was able to see something that we couldn't see with our natural eyes. That's basically what I'm saying. Okay. But it had nothing to do with the physical place. It had everything to do with this place where you are mentally. Because for those of you who need clarity in your business and you need to grow and you need to figure some things out, it's not what you're doing. It's not the place that you're in. It's all these tricks that you're doing. It's the product. It's this. What is the mental space that you're in when you are manifesting, when you are working? What is the mental space that you're in? I'll give you an example. Like I was really intentional today about I did put out a lot of offers and everything. And I was like, let me make sure that I'm doing this in the right mental space. And I made more money today than I normally do. All right. So that's what I'm saying. It has nothing to do with me being in Philly. Oh my God, I'm in Philly. So let me make sure I stay in Philly. No. It's this mental space. All right, cool. Danger of worshiping the method instead of the source. Here's the key takeaway. Just because God blessed you in a place through a system or by a method once doesn't mean that's the formula forever. Many of us get attached to how God moved in the past. We think, well, he blessed me this way before, so I need to keep doing this exact thing. But that's a dangerous trap. This is why this is important, okay? I always think about this a lot. This is why Jesus never healed people the same way twice. One time he spoke a word and someone was healed. Another time he spit in the dirt, made mud, put it in the blind man's eye. Another time he touched a person. And sometimes he just told him to go and do something. If Jesus had healed every blind person with mud, we probably have the Holy Mud Ministries selling dirt for $500 a jar. But Jesus was teaching us something. God is the source, not the method. The moment we start worshiping the system instead of the source, we step into idolatry. So if you're like, hey, my success in this business, my success is in this job, guess what? If you think your source of success is in the job, if you think your source of happiness is in the money, you're idolizing it. That's called idolatry. Are you relying on the place or God? This message, when I started to think about Bethel and Luz, it convicted me because I've definitely been guilty of it too. Sometimes we get attached to what worked before, the system that made us money, the method that brought us success, the routine that seemed to manifest everything we wanted. And I'm going to tell y'all, I was not able to turn my situation around until I realized that I put better than success and the state that it was on a pedestal. I was idolizing it as a resource for as a source for my success. And not only none of this stuff is the source of my success. My relationship with God is, even when I don't have a relationship with him, even when I'm out here forgetting about nurturing my relationship with him, he is just that merciful and gracious. Okay. So my question is, where in your life are you worshiping the method instead of God? Are you clinging to an old strategy instead of asking God for fresh direction? Are you obsessed with the routine, believing that's the only way to success? Are you limiting your blessings because you're too attached to how they should come? Let this be a reminder. God is the blesser, the place, the system, the method. They're just tools. Want to break free from old systems and step into divine alignment? Join the God Goals and Money Income Accelerator. First phase, we get clear on your goals, get clear on your purpose, your assignment, your mission, a couple of other things. Then we work on God, shift your mindset, reframe your belief system based on biblical principles. I also talk about keys to the kingdom. I also talk about going through portals or doors. I also talk about the field that Jesus talked about a lot, and I break it down in a way that you understand. This is all about manifestation, but manifestation in a co-creation with God, aligning your thoughts and your will to God's thoughts and his will, because I want to make sure that we are very clear. Some people are manifesting their own thoughts, what they want. They're trying to will their way into this world, and that's not what God wants. And I'm going to tell you, this journey is at first seemingly a little more difficult than the witches and the warlocks who trying to impose their will on the world. But afterwards, you're like, this is way easier. And it's way more effective. And it's way more fulfilling. Okay. The next phase is money. That's when, I don't want to say that's the fun stuff. All of this is fun to me. But that's when we really, really go into all the stuff that's gotten you here on this podcast, listening week after week after week after week. I've been doing this a long time, and I give y'all all my business game. And then the last phase is time, compressing and expanding time frames the same way that I just did. I just started a $15 million real estate fund in 4 months. Okay. I know I did it right in front of your eyes, right in front of your eyes, right in front of your eyes. And I'm going to do it again by selling the crap out of this income accelerator. Wait until y'all see. Y'all going to be like, and there's going to be way more money. Because I've been doing this God Goals and Money Income Accelerator. For those of y'all who don't know, I had a lot of success as a bond trader. I've gotten multiple awards from the city of Philadelphia for teaching people real estate. I've done 8 large conferences. I come from nothing. I'll see if I can flash the picture of the apartment where I grew up in. Okay, I come from nothing. I have amassed a real estate portfolio that I'm now selling off because I'm focusing on the fund. Listen, even when I was in college. When I was in college, I had a full-time job. I went to school full-time, worked part-time, was one of the top sales associates at Nordstrom as a part-time sales associate, was making more than most adults. And I had 2 boyfriends. That's another conversation for another day. But I've been using these principles for a long time. Some stuff I didn't know that I was using, but I was using them. And so let me show y'all how to do it. I'm going to show you exactly what I do, so that you can get clarity. And really, at the end of the day, like, you can do anything with these principles, but I'm intentionally taking you down this path to automate your income, because I need you to focus on the next thing and get this automated over here and get busy. All right. I'm sure I have more stuff to tell y'all, but we're going on an hour, and I got to break fast. I'm so proud of myself for going this long on my fast. So fasting, y'all should consider it. Just really one quick thing before we go. I saw something online that said, I didn't know this about fasting, that depending on how long you fast or how you do your fast, after a certain amount of time, you start to produce new brain cells. And then after like 3 days, if you fast for 3 days, you can actually produce stem cells and it can heal you. Like literally, like people who have like a knee pain, chronic knee pain for years and years, do a 3-day fast, and then they can feel a tingle during that fast in their knee, and then the pain is gone because your body started producing stem cells. So it said the 3 different ways that you can get new cells in your body. This is just anecdotal. Is through fasting, cold showers, cold plunges, just like a quick hit. You don't even got to do it for a long time, and intense, rigorous workouts. Y'all know I work out 4 times a week, but my runs, I've been running distance for a long time. And so if you need to get some clarity in your business too, fasting or intense, rigorous workouts or cold plunge could help. But let me show you how to do it all so you can like really, really level up. Okay. All right, y'all. All the links that I talked about is down below, probably some other goodies too. And if you love me, subscribe to this channel, like this video, send this video out to 3 people who you want to level up in your business. And don't forget to subscribe to or join the Income Accelerator because you need to. All right, everyone. Love y'all. Have an amazing day.
It's all so live. It's better than success from the east to the west. Worldwide, it's all so live. Knowledge even vast, politicking over cash. This podcast is also live. It's better than success from the east to the west. It's worldwide, it's also live. Roll it down. BTS Connect, stay busy. You know now, only less enlightened like who is she? It's Nikki. Pay your mind bound to drop a gem on you. What you hear it now, puts it down like the signature. Run and hit it, yeah. A business mind frame exhibitor. Ain't no pitting ya. Against the modern style literature. Beyond expenditure. I give you something that'll stick with you forever. Better than success, nothing better. You know the flavor. You never play a part, y'all star. Nah. So real and also live. Yeah. It's better than success from the east to the west. It's worldwide and also live. Yeah, now. Knowledge even vast, politicking over cash. This podcast is also live. It's better than success from the east to the west. It's worldwide and also live. So now what you gon' do? It's so real, it's also live. It's better than success from the east to the west. Worldwide and also live. Yeah. It's better than success. It's all Scott. Yeah. Let's go.